Listen, I want you to hear me with everything you've got right now, because what I'm about to share with you has the power to completely shift the trajectory of your life in 2025 and beyond. You've been told 1,000 times to focus. You've been told to grind. You've been told to chase your goals, but here's the truth. Most people aren't failing because they don't have goals or because they don't want success badly enough. They're failing because they're focusing on everything and everyone else. They're leaking their energy into noise, into distractions, into what other people think of them, into a world that's designed to keep you reactive, not proactive. And here's the kicker. You've been conditioned to believe that if you're not loud, if you're not broadcasting every single move, if you're not proving yourself to the world every second, you're falling behind. That's a lie. The truth is, the greatest power you have is cultivated in silence. Not in hiding, not in avoidance, but in choosing a state of silence where the noise of the world cannot touch you, and where your energy is preserved for what actually matters. Your growth, your mission, your life. 2025 is not the year to scream louder. It's not the year to try to outshout the chaos. It's the year to pull your power back inward, to focus on yourself so intensely that the outside world has no choice but to adapt to the person you've become. Think about this. The people you admire most, the leaders, the creators, the game changers, they don't waste time explaining themselves to the doubters. They don't waste energy responding to critics on social media. They don't need to broadcast every tiny step. They build in silence, they sharpen in silence, they transform in silence, and then one day the world wakes up and says, "Where did this person come from?" That's the power of focus. That's the power of silence. I know what you're thinking, but Tony, it's hard. The world is moving fast. Everyone's posting, everyone's talking, everyone's hustling, and if I stay silent, won't I get left behind? No. You won't get left behind. You'll be the one who actually builds something real while the others are exhausting themselves in noise. You'll be the one who creates results while they chase attention. You'll be the one who has clarity while they drown in confusion. Because silence isn't weakness, silence is strategy, silence is discipline. Silence is where you listen to your intuition, where you connect with the deepest part of yourself, where you stop reacting to the chaos of the world and start creating from a place of alignment. Let me give you a picture. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a storm. The winds are howling, the rain is pouring, debris is flying everywhere. That storm is the world in 2025. Social media, opinions, politics, distractions, fears, comparisons. Now imagine that in the center of that storm, there's an eye of stillness. That's where your power is. That's silence. That's focus. You don't control the storm. You don't need to control the storm. You simply center yourself in the stillness within it, and from there you act with power and clarity. If you're serious about growth this year, you have to understand something fundamental. What you focus on, you feel. And what you feel determines what you do. If you're focusing on what everybody else is doing, you're going to feel anxious, inadequate, overwhelmed. And if you feel anxious, inadequate, overwhelmed, you're going to act in ways that sabotage your progress. But if you focus on your own path, your own growth, your own next step, you feel empowered, you feel strong, you feel certain, and certainty creates momentum. So I want you to practice something right now. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, where have I been scattering my energy? Where have I been leaking my power into things that don't matter? Where have I been trying to impress, trying to prove, trying to please? And now shift. Imagine pulling all of that energy back into yourself, like a magnet, like you're calling back every fragment of attention that you've given away. Feel it come back into your body, into your heart, into your mind. That energy is yours, that power is yours. Nobody gets to own it unless you give it away, and the fastest way to stop giving it away, stay silent, let your results speak. Let your energy speak, let your presence speak. Because people can doubt your words, but they cannot doubt your transformation. They cannot deny the shift in your energy, the power in your actions, the force of your results, but you've got to make a decision. Right now, in this moment, you have to decide, am I going to spend another year chasing noise, or am I going to make 2025 the year I double down on myself? The year I stop broadcasting and start building? The year I stop explaining and start executing? The year I stop trying to be everywhere for everyone and start being everything for myself. Because listen, the truth is simple. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you focus. Nobody's going to silence the world for you. You have to claim it. You have to carve out silence like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your focus. And your focus is strongest when it's not fragmented by noise. When you learn to master silence, you stop needing validation, you stop needing applause, you stop needing permission, you stop explaining yourself. You simply become, and that is terrifying to people who are addicted to noise because they don't know how to exist without constant feedback. But you will know, and that's when you become untouchable. Let me tell you something about silence most people will never understand. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is fullness. It is the space where all your potential is waiting, where your best ideas come alive, where your spirit whispers the truth you've been too busy to hear. The world teaches you that silence is awkward, uncomfortable, a void to be filled. But the reality is, silence is where you remember who the hell you are. When you focus on yourself in silence, you stop living life on other people's terms. You stop chasing shadows, you stop drowning in comparison, you begin to recognize that the only real competition is the person you were yesterday, and when you truly get that, when you embody that, you become unstoppable. Because no one can compete with someone who has decided to only measure against their own growth. Now let's get real, 2025 is not going to slow down for you. Technology is moving faster than ever. The news cycle is crazier than ever. Everyone is posting, everyone is marketing themselves, everyone is trying to get your attention. And if you're not intentional, if you're not deliberate, your life will be stolen from you inch by inch. Not by some villain, but by distraction, by the constant urge to respond, to react, to comment, to post, to compare. That's why silence is not optional anymore, it's survival. It's the only way to claim back your mind. Because in silence, you're not being programmed, you're not being manipulated, you're not being drained by the expectations of others, you're choosing what to focus on, and that is the essence of freedom. Think of it like a muscle. Focus is a muscle. Silence is the gym where you build it. Every time you choose not to explain yourself, every time you choose not to engage in pointless arguments, every time you choose to work in the shadows instead of performing for likes and comments, you're building that muscle. And over time, that muscle makes you powerful in ways most people can't even imagine. I want you to reflect on this. How much of your energy in the last year went to things that didn't matter? Be honest. How many hours did you spend scrolling, comparing, explaining yourself to people who don't even matter in the long run? How many moments did you waste replaying conversations in your head, wishing you had said something different, wishing you had proved your point? That's energy you can never get back. But the beauty is this, you can decide right now that 2025 is going to be different. You can make a vow to yourself that your energy belongs to you, that your focus belongs to you, that your silence is your fortress, and inside that fortress you are building something extraordinary. And don't confuse silence with passivity. This isn't about sitting back and doing nothing. This isn't about hiding from the world. This is about executing so powerfully, so relentlessly, that you don't have time to explain yourself. Your results become your response. Your growth becomes your argument. Your presence becomes your proof. Because here's the truth, most people don't want you to succeed. They want you predictable. They want you small. They want you explaining yourself, because the moment you explain yourself, you've already put yourself in a position beneath them. But when you stay silent and you move with focus, you deny them that control. You create mystery, you create anticipation, you create impact. That's why in 2025, you've got to embrace being misunderstood. You've got to embrace not explaining yourself. You've got to embrace silence when people ask you what you're up to, when they doubt you, when they criticize you. You look them in the eye, you smile, and you say nothing. And then you go back to work, because silence is the greatest revenge. Silence is the loudest answer. Now let's dive deeper into why this is so hard. Humans are wired for connection. We crave approval. We crave being seen. That's not weakness, it's biology. But here's the thing, in today's world, that craving has been hacked. Every notification, every comment, every like is a hit of dopamine, and the system is designed to keep you addicted. It's designed to keep you from focusing on yourself. So the real question is, are you going to be a consumer or are you going to be a creator? Because consumers live loud. Consumers are always chasing, always reacting, always performing. Creators, the real ones, live in silence until it's time to release what they've built. They don't waste their genius in premature noise. They preserve it, they nurture it, they protect it. And when they finally release it, the world feels the impact. You've got genius inside of you. You've got ideas, talents, gifts that are unique to you. But those gifts will never see the light of day if you keep scattering your focus into the noise. You've got to protect your genius with silence. You've got to water your dreams in silence. You've got to grind in silence. And then, when the fruit is ripe, you show the world. Not before. Let me challenge you right now. For the next 90 days, I want you to practice ruthless focus and intentional silence. No need to broadcast your moves, no need to announce your plans, no need to explain your dreams. Just do the work, just build, just sharpen, and then watch what happens. People will start to notice a shift. They'll feel something different about you. They won't be able to put their finger on it, but they'll know you're not the same. That's the power of focus. That's the power of silence. And when the time comes to reveal what you've built, you won't have to say much. The results will speak louder than any words ever could. Here's the thing most people don't want to admit. They're terrified of silence. Silence forces you to face yourself. Silence forces you to confront your patterns, your fears, your excuses. And most people would rather drown in distraction than face the truth in the mirror. That's why they fill every second with noise TV, social media, endless chatter, meaningless conversations, anything but silence. But you're different. You wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't ready to step into a new level. You wouldn't be here if you weren't hungry for more than what you've been settling for. So I'm going to challenge you, don't run from silence. Run into it, embrace it, sit in it until it becomes your power, not your fear, because when you master silence, you master yourself, and when you master yourself, there is nothing outside of you that can take you down. You become unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. That's what I want for you in 2025. Not just success, not just achievement, but mastery. Mastery of your mind, mastery of your energy, mastery of your focus. Now, think about your life right now. Think about the people around you. How many of them actually deserve to know your every move? How many of them are truly rooting for you, truly invested in your growth, truly capable of supporting your dreams? The reality is, most aren't, and it's not even because they're bad people. It's because they're caught up in their own noise. They can't see you clearly because they can't even see themselves clearly. That's why you've got to stay silent, because silence protects you from unnecessary influence. Every time you share a dream too early, every time you announce a plan before it's ready, you open the door to doubt, to opinions, to negativity. Not because people hate you, but because they're projecting their own limitations onto you. They can't see your vision because it wasn't given to them, it was given to you. So in 2025, I want you to treat your dreams like sacred fire. Protect them, guard them, feed them in silence, because once you light that fire in the open too soon, people will try to blow it out before it's strong enough to withstand the wind. But if you let it grow in silence, if you let it become a blaze inside of you, nothing can extinguish it. And let me be real with you, silence takes strength, it takes discipline, it takes courage, because there will be times when your ego screams, tell them, show them, prove them wrong, but discipline whispers, stay quiet, keep building, let your success prove it. Do you know what the most magnetic energy in the world is? It's mystery. People can't resist what they don't fully understand, and silence creates mystery. When you stop broadcasting your every move, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop showing up in every pointless debate, people start wondering. They start asking questions. They start watching. And when they finally see the results you've built in silence, they're stunned. That's impact. That's power. Now let's talk about focus, because silence without focus is just emptiness. The whole point of creating silence is so you can focus. So you can direct your energy like a laser instead of scattering it like confetti. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less with more intensity. It's about deciding what truly matters and cutting out everything else. It's about saying, this is my mission, this is my vision, and I will pour everything I have into this until it becomes reality. That's focus, but focus doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice you make every day. Every morning you wake up, you're faced with distractions, your phone, your inbox, other people's agendas, and if you don't choose focus, distraction will choose you. So in 2025, you've got to become ruthless about protecting your focus. That means boundaries, that means discipline, that means saying no when it's easier to say yes. That means cutting out people, habits, and environments that pull you away from your vision, and yes, it's hard. Growth is supposed to be hard. If it were easy, everyone would be living at their highest potential. But most people aren't. Most people settle. Most people numb themselves with noise. You're not most people. You're here because you know there's more in you. And the only way to bring that out is to focus on yourself and stay silent long enough to build something unshakable. I want you to imagine this with me. It's December 31, 2025. You're looking back at the year. What do you see? Do you see another year lost to distraction? Another year wasted explaining yourself? Another year chasing validation? Or do you see a year where you pulled your power back, where you focused like never before, where you built in silence, and when the world finally saw what you created, they were blown away? That choice is yours. Right here, right now, and listen, silence doesn't mean isolation. You're not meant to do life alone. You need mentors, you need coaches, you need allies, you need a tribe. But there's a difference between the people who deserve access to your inner world and the people who don't. Silence is about discernment. It's about being selective. It's about choosing who gets access to your vision and who doesn't, because your vision is sacred, your focus is sacred, and not everyone is qualified to handle it. So don't confuse silence with loneliness. Silence is intimacy with yourself. Silence is communion with your mission. Silence is a sacred space where you and your vision become one. That's where greatness is born. And once you build that muscle of silence and focus, something incredible happens. You start to hear your own voice again. Not the voice of your parents, not the voice of your critics, not the voice of social media, but your voice. The voice of your spirit, the voice of your intuition, the voice that knows exactly what you're capable of, exactly where you're meant to go, exactly who you're meant to be. That voice has been drowned out for too long. 2025 is the year you hear it again, and the only way to hear it is to stay silent long enough to listen.